Really quickly guys, before I start this video, I just want to say thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. My goal last year was to have 100 subscribers by the end of the year. And as you guys can see, we are at 113. I think I closed out the year at like 108 or so. We're doing very well right now on my channel, and I'm very thankful. Honestly, this isn't possible without you guys, and I greatly appreciate it. My goal for this year, I'm going to try to hit 1,000, well over 1,000 by the end of the year. If you guys haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. And I'm going to stop yapping and let's get into this video. So pretty much for whatever reason, like when my friends, people, whoever, it doesn't matter, it never fails. When people find out that I do jiu-jitsu, figure out that I'm like really big into martial arts, really big into fighting or whatever, it doesn't fail. They always seem to ask me one common question, the same question every single time, and it's usually along the same lines of, hey, do you do UFC? Do you know MMA? Are you going to be a fighter? Are you in the UFC? Are you a fighter right now? They always want to know anything, like if I'm a fighter, if I do anything related to fighting, and the answer to that is always like 100% a certain no. I'm not in the UFC, I'm not an MMA fighter, I don't do UFC or anything like that. I really have like no desire pretty much to be a professional fighter, and I feel like anybody that is a professional fighter would probably agree with the fact that if you're not like 100% all in, you probably shouldn't do it because you get really hurt and the risk reward is just not that good. And then the second question they always want to ask me is, well, do I know anyone that is an MMA fighter? Do I know any UFC fighters? Have ever been around or trained with MMA, UFC fighters? The answer to that is yes, I have been around MMA fighters. I feel like a majority of the people that are in my jiu-jitsu gym have had some sort of MMA experience or, practice MMA or anything like that. There is even a UFC fighter that used to train in my gym, that trains in my gym. And I have rolled with them, I have sparred with them, I have trained them. People are always so interested like that. They always think I'm like hanging out with like some Hollywood superstars or something like that. They're always just like so mind blown and they're so interested. They always want to know more. So I figured why not make a video about it? Because people are always asking like, how do you match up with them? Do you get your butt kicked? Do I kick their butts? Which doesn't happen. Is there any in between? What's it like? I can pretty much answer all that. It's definitely an experience in of itself. It's definitely not like rolling with anybody else. All that I'm gonna get into right off the bat though. I'm sure you guys are wondering, before I even get anything, you guys are probably wondering, well, who is the UFC fighter you're talking about? You're talking about training and rolling with the UFC fighter. Who is that? The UFC fighter that I'm talking about is Andrew Holbrook. He is a lightweight. I'm not even sure if he's still with the UFC. He did have like a 5 or 6 fight tenure at the UFC though that I do know of. He fought some tough competition. He beat some tough guys. He beat people like Ramsey Najim, Jake Matthews, people like that, tough prospects. Ramsey Najim is actually the guy that beat Tony Ferguson before Justin Gaethje, like before Tony Ferguson went on like his 12-fight win streak. He was the guy that beat Tony Ferguson before that. And then Jake Matthews, just another tough prospect. I believe he's from like Australia or New Zealand, something like that. He's another tough guy coming up. I think he's fighting at welterweight now though. He used to fight at lightweight and I think he went up to welterweight. He fought Holbrook when he was at lightweight. And also too, you guys can tell I switched up a little bit for this video. I thought it would just be a little bit more interesting and entertaining for you guys. I'm playing some UFC right now. Instead of just me kind of sitting here talking in my room with my camera, I thought I'd give you guys something to watch, entertaining. This is going to be a pretty good little fight here. Right off the bat though, I'm sure like this is the first thing I noticed like as soon as we started rolling, and I'm sure a lot of you guys probably guessed this, there is a massive strength difference. It is like completely different. It's not like these people are just like jacked and they look super strong and they're ripped. It's not even that. A lot of them just look like normal people, or like they're just built like normal and they're just like look like they're in good shape, but it's just like functional strength, it's core strength, it's positional strength. They're just like strong in the positions they need to be strong in, and they're really flipping strong. It's like superhuman. That is like the biggest thing that I noticed, and probably the biggest difference maker is just like certain positions like exploding off your back, bridging off your back. It is like 3 times more explosive than your normal person. And just any sort of functional strength you can imagine, core strength, it is just insane. Like just the ability to like squeeze, compress, pin someone down. It is way different, and it's not like anything I've ever felt before. It is definitely a different level. Another thing too that I noticed, it kind of plays into the strength thing, but also it's definitely kind of different. They're just naturally more aggressive, and I don't really mean that like more aggressive in the fact that they're trying to hurt you, like they're just constantly putting you in submissions, yanking on your arms, your neck, things like that. It's not like that. It's just it just seems a little bit more intense. Like they're rolling with a little bit more intensity. They're not. These people are literally, their training, everything is to put food on the table. This is their job. This is their livelihood. This is how they make their money. So they're obviously probably going to be a little bit more aggressive because most of the other people that you're rolling with in the gym, they're just part-time people, they're hobbyists. They're only training, maybe a couple times a week, and they do it as a hobby really to stay in shape, while these people are doing it every single day, multiple times a day, and they're training literally for life or death in order to put food on the table, to feed people. It's way different, so you can obviously just tell there's a little bit different. There's a little bit difference, the intensity, how they train, things like that. And again, it's just levels. That's the whole thing. That's the biggest thing that I took away, especially when you start doing jiu-jitsu, any sort of martial arts, when you really start learning about and practicing fighting. You understand really fast there's levels, and especially when you roll someone who is a UFC caliber fighter. And when I'm talking about Andrew, I'm not even talking about like he is a UFC fighter, but I'm not going to make him out sound like he's some flippin' superstar. Like he's not Habib. Like he doesn't obviously like he doesn't have that sort of grappling. But the fact that he is a UFC fighter, he is a professional MMA fighter, and I'm literally just some I guess, a hobbyist. I probably take it a little bit more serious than a normal hobbyist, but it's very easy to tell the difference, you know, in terms of intensity, strength, everything. They're at a whole nother level because they're training for, there's more that they're training for than just being in shape just to get better at jiu-jitsu or just to get a different belt or a stripe on their belt or whatever. And honestly, if you're just wondering like what it's actually like for the people, like the best way to describe it to people, because people always want to know like what's it like, what's it feel like. Obviously you're getting your butt kicked, so it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel fun. The best way I could probably describe it to you though is if like you're just laying under sand, like if you know like when you see people that get buried in sand, their heads just poking out. The best way to describe this feeling is like you're laying in sand but you're trying to move and get out, but every time you start breaking free, the sand just keeps replacing itself and you get pinned back down, and you're trying to break free and you get pinned back down, you're trying to break free, and it's just tiring. It's just like the more you resist, the more you just make yourself more stuck. That is literally like the best way to describe it, what it's like to roll with a UFC fighter, to train with a UFC fighter. The intensity, the strength, everything, it's just levels different. It's not like rolling with anybody else. And it really does speak volumes to the levels of what it takes to be a UFC caliber fighter, and even the difference in levels between people that are UFC caliber and people that are at the very top of the UFC, like a Khabib type person. I got completely smashed and drowned out by some dude that is a UFC fighter, but like I would say just an average tier UFC fighter. I couldn't even imagine what it's like to roll with someone like Khabib, to roll with someone like Hamzat, to roll with someone like DC, Usman, someone who just has completely suffocating wrestling that just constantly is on you, wearing you out. I could not imagine. That seems like a nightmare. But that's pretty much what it was like for me when I rolled with Andrew Holbrook, former UFC lightweight. I hope you guys did enjoy this video though. Please be sure to like this video. If you guys found it entertaining, please send it to someone. If you know anyone else that will enjoy this video, send my video their way. I would greatly appreciate it. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below if you guys have any ideas, video suggestions, things you want to see me do. And until next time, I will catch you guys later.